Am I wrong for physically assaulting my daughter's abusive boyfriend? My situation happened 2 weeks ago. I 49 have been a single parent for the past 15 years. My wife passed away from cancer when our daughter was 7. She is now 22 years old. It was a difficult journey and I faced a lot of hardships in raising her. I have no plans to remarry, so all I have left in my life is my daughter. We will call her Liz. Liz and I are close, but she does tend to hide things from me very often. Minor stuff like boys and stuff. I understand that it's normal and have told her so. I have met a few boyfriends throughout the years, so it is not like she doesn't trust me. I have asked her to not be afraid to introduce me to any boyfriend, and have reassured her that I will always be there for her. She does talk a lot about her relationships with me, so thankfully I do get updated on it myself. She moved out of the house when she was 20 and since has lived alone. I visit quite often and help her around with whatever she needs. Recently though, she started seeing this guy she met at the bar. I think his name was John, I'm not so sure. Since they started dating, she hasn't allowed me to go visit her all that often, and usually when she does she makes me tell her days in advance. I thought it was only because she was growing up and she was advancing in her relationship. I have met John on a few occasions and to be honest I did not like him. I had no evidence that supported my feelings towards him, but I just did not like him. I have asked her about how she's doing and how's John, and she has been hesitant to tell me anything. She would prefer not to talk about it and would switch the subject. When I invited her out to eat, it took a lot of persuasion. Whenever I have seen her, she always wore clothing that would cover most of her body and would have a lot of makeup on. She had never worn makeup before, so it struck me as odd, but brushed it off. When I asked her about John, she would get defensive and invasive about it. Almost like she was scared of him. Recently, I have seen new bruises appear on her arm and neck area. She has tried to cover it up, but I've noticed it. I have asked her about them and how she got them, and she would give those cliché excuses. Oh, at work I hit myself on something, or I fell while biking. I was not born yesterday and immediately found it suspicious and called her out on it. She got angry and told me to let it go and not worry about it. I suspected that John was responsible. Ever since he came into her life she has changed, and now I am certain that he puts her hands on her. 2 weeks ago I paid her a surprise visit at her home, and to no surprise it was John who answered the door. I let myself in and asked him where Liz was. She came out of her room and was shocked to see me. She wasn't covered up with 20 layers, so I got to see everything. Every bruise, every handprint mark on her body. I was horrified that my suspicions were true, and before I knew it I lost my self-composure and laid hands on John. I am not proud of it. I threw John out of her apartment. She was angry at me and through her tears was telling me she told me not to worry about it, that I should have left it alone, that everything was fine, etc. She was making me feel like I was the bad guy. She told me to get out. Before I left I again reassured her that I would always be her father and whatnot. It has been 2 weeks and each time I've tried to reach out to her she has been distant with me and has denied any invitation to dinner with me. I made sure that John was not coming over anymore and she confirmed that she had left him, but that she still did not want to see me. I do not think I did anything wrong, but I feel like I somehow messed up. So am I the a-hole? Update. Well, not exactly, but so much has happened over the last few hours. I'm sorry I haven't responded to anyone, but I have made sure to read every comment. I cannot thank you guys enough. You guys saved my daughter by giving me the push and advice to act. Many of you have said that she is most likely still in touch with him, and that would explain why she has been distant from me. I did not want to imagine that, but you guys with right sorta. I will explain everything. Like I said in my earlier post, I have been checking up on her, making sure John wasn't around. Well, after reading many comments I decided that maybe I should man up and go talk to my daughter about what happened. I decided to call sick to work today and wanted to go spend that day with my daughter. I did not tell her in advance. I wanted it to be a surprise. No. I'm sorry. I wanted to see if that filthy fucking animal was there and did not want her to give him a heads up. Just like you guys said, he might still be around. I decided to head to her place early. I picked up some flowers and her favorite snacks. As I was walking up the stairs to her apartment room, I heard loud screaming and banging. I would be lying if I told you guys that it didn't make my skin crawl. I was praying that it wasn't him, that my daughter was okay. My mind and heart were racing. When I made it to her floor, I saw him. He was banging on the door trying to get in, screaming to be let in. At that moment I felt as if the world froze. It is hard to explain, but I felt a moment of calm and clarity. Not sure if I am explaining it well, but it doesn't matter. I dropped the flowers and the snacks on the floor and made my way towards him. He was too busy being an absolute waste of a man to notice me. I swear to everyone who will read this. I swung at him so hard I broke not only his nose but maybe some of my fingers. I'm too old to be fighting, my hand is swollen. I did not stop swinging at him, not even when he fell unconscious, not when he hit the floor. I was ready to beat that man to death. The only reason I stopped was because my daughter pulled me off of him. It turns out that she was watching him through the door peephole thing. This time she did not scream at me, she did not cuss me out. She hugged me. I could hear her muffled cries. I kinda cried myself but pulled myself together and told her to pack what was most important to her, that she would be staying with me until everything was resolved. She silently went back into her home and started to pack. I could not believe it, but the motherfucker was still alive and starting to get up. I grabbed him and told him that if I ever saw him again I would beat him to death. To never fucking show his face again and to leave my daughter the fuck alone. He simply nodded and I tossed him aside. It took Liz a while, but she eventually came out with a small suitcase and we headed back to my home. Shit, now that I typed this out I forgot about her flowers and snacks back at the apartment. She is now safe under my roof once again and I cannot thank everyone enough. I would have never imagined it would turn out this way, but I thank God that it did. I do not want to imagine what might have happened if I had not chosen to show up or not taken any of your guys' advice. At the moment she is doing fine and is cooking me my favorite meal while I sit on the porch drinking a beer and typing this out. I will lawyer up because I did fuck up that kid pretty badly and I'm not stupid enough to believe that I won't hear a knock on my door soon. I'm so thankful and glad that I asked you guys. I will update you guys if I do not end up in jail or something. For now, I am only looking forward to eating some fucking steak and being with my daughter. I love you guys. Goodbye for now.